Hi, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. I think we'll start, although the numbers are not encouraging, but I'm sure as time goes on, the people will join. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. I'm actually very happy today that we have this call coming up. Today we have Tableau basics for everyone. Um, and I thank you all for joining today's Accra Tag meeting, where we are basically going to look at some Tableau basics for everyone, be it those in the professional world, those wanting to enter into data analytics. So thank you very much for joining. So the agenda for today is quite simple yet loaded. There will be an opening remarks, which I will be doing that. Then we would have the Tableau Basics session with Dr. Kevin Lee Elder. Then we'll have our closing remarks. So welcome everyone to Accra Tag. This is the first Tableau community here in Ghana. We had our launch somewhere in December last year, and trust me, we were very happy that this tag was done or created in Ghana to establish that kind of data community here in Ghana. So thank you everyone for joining again. So why was Accra Tag formed? To build a local Tableau community. We know that Ghana has a growing data analyst roles, but no formal community. So this tag is to create a central space for all of us to learn, collaborate, and have some peer support. And also to bridge academia and industry, right? Where we connect students, educators, professionals to share practical use cases of data, best practices, and also some real world experience. Also, to develop and showcase Ghanaian talent through training, mentorships, and Tableau public projects. The community will help members grow skills and gain visibility. Then also to advance the use of Tableau in Ghana, right? To just promote the practices and the deeper adoption of Tableau across businesses and academia. So why join Accra Tag? To learn some practical Tableau and data skills, um, not theory, but real use cases. And you will testify by the kind of speakers that we'll bring on board for the various tag meetings that we would have this year. Also, to grow with a data community here in Ghana, where you can connect with analysts, BI developers, students, business leaders, can share ideas, get some feedback, collaborate on projects, as well as to build some meaningful professional relationships, which I think is very key to all of us, our personal development. And lastly, to level up your career, right? Where you can improve your portfolio, gain exposure from community projects, access speakers, industry insights, as well as some opportunities that would push you forward in your data career. So, who are the leaders of this Accra tag? The first leader is Ebenezer Sam, that is myself. Ebenezer Sam is a data analyst and a Ghana data steward for Old Mutual Ghana for both the life and pensions business. I'm an active contributor of data governance as well as quality initiatives at Old Mutual Ghana. And I have about 3 years, more than 3 years of experience in data and research analysis. I use Tableau and Power BI for work as well as fun. Outside work, Sam is a classical and a choral singer as well as loves cooking and reading. Then we have Elvis Kwabena Asari Nkrumah. Elvis is a teaching and research assistant at the Department of Statistics at the University of Ghana. He is a former 2024 Tableau Academic Ambassador. And for those who have been following him, he has been doing great work with this role. He majored in statistics and computer science, and he's a data enthusiast. He teaches about data everywhere. He's a mentor, data science and analytics advocate, and outside work, Elvis is a Barcelona fan. So the data farm, right? The data farm is huge, and I would encourage all of us, those who haven't joined the data farm, to just join. Right, the data farm creates that community where you can have access to so many resources. So it's a global community of helpful people plus free resources to help you in your data journey. There are about 400,000 Tableau forums, 500,000 community blogs that you can read, um, 10 million plus Tableau public visualizations and dashboards to just inspire you. And trust me, for me, I can spend hours and hours there just looking at and just observing people's work. It's just fascinating. There are about 200 plus user groups, of which Accra Tag is part, but you can join as many user groups as possible. There are also about 3 million plus students and teachers, sorry, who are on Tableau. So the community is very large, and trust me, it's a helpful community where when you join, you will get to notice the importance, right? So yes, today we have Tableau Basics for everyone, and we are starting with this because as a community, this we are new, right? And we want to kind of like all of us be on the same page to help and support all of us be on the same page when it comes to the use of Tableau. So we are looking at Tableau Basics for everyone, be it you're a data analyst, professional, or someone who is enthused with data, right, and wants to look at a visualization to enhance the work that, I mean, what you want to do with Tableau, as well as if you are like a beginner, right? So this session is for all of us. You can be a professional already using Tableau, but it's always good to go back to the basics. In a world where AI is kind of like taking all over and all, it's always good to go back and just relearn, right? So we have our guest speaker here today, and I'm very honored to introduce him. He is in the person of Dr. Kevin Lee Elder. So, Dr. Lee is a Tableau ambassador and an active leader in the university teaching and learning tag community. He has presented at the Tableau conference in 2022 and 2023, respectively, and multiple Tableau user groups globally, of which Accra Tag is going to be part of. As North Central and South American lead for Viz for social good hackathons, he uses Tableau to drive meaningful social impact. With over 35 years of experience, he specializes in data fluency, data literacy analytics, business intelligence, data visualizations, among others. He currently serves as the Gary A. Moore Family Endowed Professor of Analytics and Cybersecurity at Louisiana Tech University. So, Doctor, thank you very much for joining us. We are very honored to have you here. This is the Accra Tag, located in Ghana, and we are very much happy to have you on board to take us through the basics for Tableau basics for everyone. So, yeah, the floor is yours for the next hour. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for that introduction, and thank you for the invite to be here today. As Ebenezer was saying, I've been teaching for nearly 40 years now. I need to update that bio. It's out of date.
Wow.
When I created it, I don't know when, it was several years ago. So several more years of teaching. Data uh, Viz for Social Good is no more. That organization has folded and been replaced by Data Changemakers. But this is the first time I've had a fancy title, so I use that fancy title everywhere. So thank you for using my fancy title to introduce me. After 30 plus years of doing this, I finally got a title. I'm also wearing my playing games with Tableau sweatshirt today. And I noticed in my bio, I've got to update it. I also presented at TC24, so 3 years in a row, skipped last year. And we're looking to bring back playing games with Tableau to the Tableau conference this year, part 2, where we'll be talking about how much you can learn by trying to create games in Tableau. So pretty advanced users out there. who really know how to use Tableau can make chess and checkers and Battleship and you name the game. It's out there on Tableau Public, which we'll get a chance to look at before. Whenever I teach intro to analytics and my students start with Excel, right? Excel is the analytics tool most widely used in industry. So we start with Excel and we push Excel to its absolute limits. Then I say, okay, now let's switch to Tableau. And so I tell my students, you got your hands sitting in front of you, put your hands together like this. And if you are right-handed, typically that right thumb is going to go on top because that's your dominant hand. And so you put that together. Now take your hands apart and make it go the other way. And make your left hand be on top of your right hand. And if you have a hand that's dominant, when you switch it to the other hand, it just doesn't feel right. It feels very strange. And you want to immediately go back to the familiar, what you know and what your body knows. Welcome to Tableau. That's the way Tableau is. When you open it up, it's totally different. It's this whole world. It's a whole switch in mindset that you need to do. And so I think it's really important to lay that foundation right away with the students and with whoever I am presenting to. So if you don't mind, I've got a really old Mac computer here, and it really helps me to be able to have the slide deck open and running through the slide deck while also being able to see the screen, seeing any questions or comments. So we've got a small group here this morning. So if you've got a question or a comment, please throw it into the chat. I've got the chat open and can see if you have any questions or comments, and then we'll try and take questions at the end. So again, as was mentioned, I'm a professor of analytics and cybersecurity. I'm also an industry analyst with Dresner Advisory Services. And I am famous for bringing in professors for the day, bringing people from industry to come in and teach class. So like Monday, I'll be bringing somebody in from Rivian, the electric truck manufacturer in California, bringing in someone from Home Depot and bringing in someone from Equifax. So major companies here in the US, I bring them in, open up my classroom and allow them to teach my class what they think is important. I have to throw this image in here. This is the 1-year anniversary of my daughter's wedding. So a year ago, we were in the redwood forests of California, and my daughter got married, and the most spectacular pictures you can ever imagine. So I'm happy to be here and remembering where I was a year ago. So quick agenda. I just want to open up Tableau and say, oh my goodness, now what? And you get totally overwhelmed with Tableau and the interface and everything that's there and everything that goes on behind it. And so I want to take you through all the various resources that are free. There's lots of ones you can pay for, but I want to point you to all the free ones that are out there. And hopefully through looking at all of these resources, you can see the basics of Tableau. You can see where you want to learn more and where to go in order to learn more. And so that's what my goal really is today, not to take you through Tableau and teach you the Tableau interface. What I want to do is teach you where to go to learn more about whatever it is in that Tableau interface that you don't know how to do. The answer is out there somewhere, and the answer out there is free. That's what I love about this Tableau community. So again, on my opening slide, I had welcome to the Tableau neighborhood. It really is amazing. As your tug leader was saying earlier, this community is second to none. I've been teaching for nearly 40 years. I've taught in the SAP world a long time. I've taught in the Microsoft world for a long time. I've switched to the Mac environment now. I've used every system imaginable, and I've never run into a community anywhere close to this Tableau community. And so that's what I want to help you see, is just that huge Tableau community that is out there, from webinars to articles to white papers, to just interacting with all the community that's out there, the free training and videos and things you can find out on YouTube, data literacy training that you can start with Tableau and then start moving over to other things. I think it's coming up now on 7 years. Salesforce bought Tableau 7 years ago. So about half of my time using Tableau, they were independent, and now they've been bought by Salesforce. And Salesforce has a wonderful training environment called Trailblazers. And only in about the last year has it really gotten up to speed with all the Tableau. So if you looked at Trailblazers a few years ago, for Tableau, there was almost nothing there. Now, if you go to the Trailblazer site and look at Tableau, there's a lot there. I use Tableau Public with my students at the university, and Tableau Public is one of the greatest learning environments to ever exist. And so we will take a look at Tableau Public. And then, of course, there are the Tableau ambassadors and visionaries, and so much you can learn from them. So again, here's the Tableau interface. You open it up, you load your data in, and up pop these fields up on the left. You've got columns, you've got rows, you've got color and things you can do with the marks. You can create worksheets. You can combine those worksheets into a dashboard. You can combine those worksheets into a data story. You can put maps in there. There's all kinds of formatting you can do. Up in the upper right, it says "Show me," and it will bring up the most common charts and give you some guidance as far as, well, with the data that you have currently loaded and the chart you're looking at, maybe you might want to change to this chart. So again, for my brand new students, this is very overwhelming. What do I do? I've got a blank canvas here. If I didn't have that now, it would be a blank canvas. What are we going to do with this blank canvas? And so one of the things that I like to point out, and so now you're in Tableau, you open it up, and a lot of times my students don't see this down here, but hey, here's Superstore, here's World Indicators. So we could just come down the moment we get into Tableau, and we can open up the Superstore. Everybody who uses Tableau knows there's the Superstore, and the Superstore is a really awesome data set that allows you to do so much so quickly and get a real feel for what Tableau can do. So when you open up this Tableau workbook, you can see that things are already in it. And so you can start to get a feel for, this is where I'm going now. It's not a blank canvas. Now I see this idea in my head, that here I've got this dashboard. And so I've got a nice map. I've got some area charts down here. I've got a couple of different colors. Up at the top, I have these key performance indicators, these KPIs, in a band across the top, big aggregated numbers to let us see these big things that are going on. And so down at the bottom, I can see these tabs. And on these tabs, I can go and I can start looking at and seeing, okay, how did they create these various charts? So here are some charts on the product. Here are some charts on the consumer. As I mouse over, they've got some cool tool tips giving us information as I mouse over these. And so I can really start to get a feel for, what can I do in Tableau? And so you can start taking a look and seeing, okay, I need to to start with just some orders. And so I want to be able to put in my orders. And so, oh, look, this is familiar. This looks like Excel. Ah, this is very close to Excel. And so you can see this at any time. You can go over and take a look at your data source and see what your data sources are and see what the data is and get a feel for it and see how they are combined together. So in this case, we've got orders, we've got people, and we've got returns when people return those items. And so again, just by getting this feel for taking a look at the superstore, then you start to get the idea of, okay, this is where I want to go. I want to take my data set in and get to the point where I could do a nice dashboard with all of these things in it and allow people to click through and get insights from the data that I have loaded into Tableau. And so that interface is always available to you. You can always go and pull that up and take a look at it. And so that is a wonderful place to start, is just to grab this Superstore data set and start looking through and seeing, okay, well, what is this? This is a heat map. This is one of the first things I teach my students about heat maps. Don't do them in blue. Blue is not heat. Blue is typically thought of as cold. Why are we doing it in blue? A heat map should be in yellows and orange and things that will make you think of heat. And so again, just by looking through examples, you can question those examples. You can wonder, well, how could I do these things? And so I like to start with a couple of basic things with Intro to Analytics students and say, well, when we're talking about analytics, it's really 5 stages of analytics. I like to use the pyramid diagram to lay out those stages. And so I want you to be thinking about, okay, what are we trying to do with this data in this Tableau workbook? What is it we're trying to do? And so the first stage that organizations go through is descriptive, just what's been happening. And so if you just want to look at orders or customers or products and see what's been happening, well, that's just descriptive analytics, and it's the first stage. We can't do anything until we know what's been happening. Then we can go to that second level and try and figure out, well, why has this been happening? Why are these products selling and these products not selling? Why are these customers buying a lot and these customers are not buying a lot? And so you can go to that second stage only after you've completed the first stage. Then once you start figuring out why these things have been happening, then you start asking questions and having these business decisions. Well, what do we predict is going to happen next? And so now you start taking that data and you start trying to visualize it and you start trying to project out based on what we see happening in the past. What do we see happening in the future? Now, let's say that our current situation we predicted out and it doesn't look that good. We're not going to sell enough of these to stay in business. We can go back and start playing what if games. What if we changed the price? What if we expanded our market? What if we increased marketing? And we can start trying to do prescriptive analytics, that 4th stage. What can we do to make positive predictions happen? What can we do if we have a negative prediction happening? How can we change that negative prediction? And then the 5th stage is optimization. How can we get the computer to do these things by itself? So most organizations are in this first stage. Most organizations are small. Most organizations have not been doing analytics for a long time. Most organizations are new to Tableau. And so you've just got to start building those dashboards, building those views so we know what's happening. Then we can start doing diagnostic. Then we can start doing prediction. Too many times I see people open up Tableau, load some data in there and go, let's start predicting. Let's see what's going to happen in the future. You just can't jump there. We've got to build the descriptive data set out there so we know what's been going on. Then we can start playing, why has it been going on? Once we know why, then we can start doing predictive. So you've got to ask a lot of questions before you sit down at Tableau and start trying to build those. And so I like to have my students take a look at enterprise architecture, because enterprise architecture says, well, IT architecture are these first three columns. The data is the what, how we're going to process that data is the function or the processing, and where is that data across the network so we can pull it in. That's typical IT architecture. That's what most organizations look at, and they try and build their analytics to know the what, the how, and the where. But what I teach my students is enterprise architecture says, well, but there are people involved. So we need to be asking who is going to be looking at this, and what are they trying to do. Then we need to look at the when. What's the timing of this? Here in the United States, we just had Valentine's Day, which is a big pseudo holiday in the US where everybody likes to buy chocolate and flowers. And so a major chocolate company did a conversion of their systems right in this holiday season from Christmas to Valentine's Day, where they're trying to sell the most chocolate. They were converting their system because nobody asked the when question of saying, well, is this a good time for us to be updating our system? Or maybe we should do it during the summer when we're not selling as much chocolate. And we wouldn't have as many problems trying to sell the chocolate if we weren't updating our systems at that time. And then most importantly, in my mind, is the why. Why are we doing this? What is this business decision that we're trying to make? How can we figure out what that is? What are the steps? How do people do that? So it's the what, how, where, who, when, and why are all questions you should be asking as you're looking at this Tableau interface and going, what can I do with it? And so here is the my slide deck. So if you want to go out and grab the slide deck now, or just grab the link so you can grab it later. Let me walk through the available resources to help you answer those who, what, where, when, why, and how types of questions. So if we go to the Tableau.com website, under resources, there are a tremendous amount of resources. This is what I love about Tableau. There's no other platform, no other package that will bring all of these things to bear for you. And so if you go out to where it says resources and getting started, Tableau has a whole bunch of things to get you started. And those are all tied into Tableau Desktop. So when you open up Tableau Desktop, getting started before you open a workbook is in the upper right-hand corner to get started. And it will take you right to this get started site on Tableau's website. But what I want to focus on is, well, how do I learn this? How do I learn what to do with this enormous interface and all these things on the screen? How can I really learn it? And so again, this is kind of my agenda, is to walk you through what some of these things are, what you will find there, why they're important, so that as you start learning Tableau and you open up that desktop and you're like, oh, wait a minute, what do I do with these colors? How do I do things with colors? Oh, well, let me go back to what Doc was talking about on the website and all these links. And where did he talk about color? And where can I go to learn more about color? And there's lots of places that you can go. So we start off with the webinars. There's all kinds of great videos and things for those of you that like to watch videos. There's a getting started with Tableau video, goes for 60 minutes. We do a much better job than I could right now, walking you through that interface. What is it? How do I click? What do I do? Here's a really great place to start. Even if you've been using it for many years, things have moved, things have changed. There are things that you never knew were right there. One of my favorite memories of Tableau conference, every year at Tableau conference, they have a competition where three folks get up on the stage and they have 20 minutes to build this amazing dashboard. And whoever has the top dashboard by the judges verdict gets to be the Iron Viz champion. And one year, the three of them were up there, and somebody named Lindsay Poulter copied and dropped some stuff into Tableau Desktop, and the whole crowd at Iron Viz said, "What? What did she just do?" Even people who had been using Tableau since it began didn't know you could do a simple trick that Lindsay did on the stage. And for years, I called that, okay, I'm going to do the Lindsay now. And I would cut and paste and drop things in the interface because it's really easy to do. But if you never knew Tableau could do it, you would never do it. And so I thought Lindsay should have won. That was the one year where they had a tie and two people tied, and it were the other two people. And I'm like, wait a minute, Lindsay did something up on stage that everybody went, wow, I can't believe you can do that. She should have won. But anyway, so out here on Tableau's website, there are all kinds of webinars, virtual test drive, how do I manage data, unlocking the power of maps and spatial things. Tableau has gotten much better with those. So Tableau has some great webinars and videos, and there are lots of places you can go to find more. But that will get you started, get you the basics of how do I do these things. Then they've got white papers. If you would rather read it rather than watch it, which is not the younger generation, they would rather watch it. My generation, we'd rather read it. You can go out and read some of these white papers and articles because Tableau was started on research. The people that started Tableau were researchers researching data visualization, and I said, well, none of these packages out there are doing these things that we've done research and said this is what you need to do in order to really visualize these things. And so they stopped doing their academics, stopped working on their degree, and started Tableau based on all this research of how can we do visualization better? How can we take analytics to that next level? And so you can go back and read those articles and see how did they get here. When you want to go to the next level of data science, there are lots of articles and things through their hub. Future reading, you can really read where Tableau is going, because not only do you want to learn Tableau to do things today, you need to know, hey, down the road, things are going to be different. And so I need to get ready for when things are different. But I still think you need to learn the basics today. And so you can do that. So here's one of the articles that I start my students out. What is data visualization? Why are we doing it? What is the power of it? What can it do? And so the idea is that when I visualize this data, I can quickly see, wait a minute, what is this line out here? Why is that one so different than all the other ones? Why is it standing out? If I just look at that data, even in a bar chart, it doesn't stand out as much as when I do this line chart and see them all in that line chart. It really gives me that picture of, wow, look, that's, and so those kind of aha moments are what we're trying to get to. So again, down at the bottom of that page, it talks about the community. And so you click on that and it says, welcome to this Tableau community. Let's start a conversation. And so you can jump right in and start a conversation. So here's somebody saying, hey guys, I'm trying to do a roll-up calculation and I'm hitting some roadblocks. What do you recommend that I do? And all of these Tableau visionaries and ambassadors and people who've been using the system, they'll answer your questions. They'll converse with you. You can't find this anywhere else. And so when you're trying to learn that interface, you can just come here and type to do a search, and you don't even have to ask those questions because those initial questions, somebody else has already asked them. So you can go in and say, here's my question, and you can find where somebody else has posted it, and somebody will give you an answer. And the cool thing about Tableau, again, it's kind of overwhelming to begin with, is there's not just one answer of how to do things in Tableau. There are multiple answers for how to do it. And so one might be confusing, one might make more sense depending on your background. You can find your tribe, as we say. People that have similar backgrounds, similar interests are speaking that language that you can better understand. But it's an entire language of analytics, and it's an entire language within this Tableau community. And there's nothing to compare. So I don't know if you can see because I'm real small. You might have seen it earlier. I'm wearing my Datos hat because Diego, who I'm going to spotlight here in a second, is one of their leaders, and we have a growing group in South America, just like we have a growing group there in Africa. And so it's fun to see who these folks are. So on that Tableau community page, there are the community leaders. And so you can take a look and see who the community leaders are. And so we have multiple levels of these community leaders. The top level are what we call the Tableau visionaries, or they used to be called the Zen masters back in the day, but several years ago, they switched it over to calling them Tableau visionaries. These are the folks who take Tableau to its limits and show you everything that Tableau can do. So, like Diego here, who I am highlighting because he was on that Ask Tableau community questions page, and he's got his Tableau public page, he's got his profile, he's got his LinkedIn page, he's got his YouTube channel, and he's got his blog. And so again, we can click on his YouTube page, and if you know Spanish, Diego's got tons of videos to get you started uh, doing things with Tableau, like doing filters and dynamic zone visibility and creating custom shapes and doing things with parameters. And and so these folks just have a tremendous amount of resources, and it's all free. So here's another one of our visionaries, Sean Miller. Sean, again, Tableau Public, Forums profile, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and blog. And if I click on Sean's YouTube, it will take me to his YouTube channel. And Sean is prolific. He's done lots and lots of videos out there because Sean has been working with this community project called Workout Wednesday, where they give you a problem, something to do inside of Tableau. Folks work on it, provide their solutions, and then they show, okay, here's my expert solution to it. And again, there's lots of solutions to every uh, um, way to do things within Tableau. So down here at the bottom is Andy Kreibel, one of our Hall of Famers, started the Makeover Monday uh, 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 community project. And so there's just so many of those. So Jim Daner was number 5 on that Tableau community page above. Jim is a visionary now. Jim came and taught my class 5 or 6 years ago. And so Jim has a really good blog site out there, jimdaner.com. And so on Jim's website, he's got blogs explaining how to do things. So if you like the videos, there are folks that have prolific lot of videos. There are folks that have a lot of blogs explaining how to do things. So just a couple of weeks ago, Jim came and taught my class where he said, here are fun ways to tackle 6 tough problems. And he walked my students through, look at this problem within Tableau. I have this chart. I'm trying to do this. I can't get it to work. And then here's a solution. Here's how I did it. And he walks you through it. His most recent one is color custom palettes. And so with this blog, Jim will walk you through how you can change those colors. So again, it's overwhelming. You see that Tableau desktop interface, and yeah, with my marks, I can do colors. But what can I do with colors? How can I change them? Not use those defaults. How can I get it better? Well, this is one of the best blogs I've ever seen on color because I'm colorblind. And so lots of times people will create a color blog and say, this is how you should use colors. And their solutions are bad for those of us who are colorblind, that have color vision deficiency. And so Jim is one of the better ones. But if you come to Jim's blog site in a month or so, hopefully, there'll be a new blog, guest blog from me, and I will go through and add on to Jim's and say, Jim's is great. These are great ways to deal with colors. But now, if you really want to make sure the colorblind can do it, here are some add-on tips on how to take your color work even further. On Jim's blog with those colors, he says, click here, and here's his Tableau workbook, where everything that he's explaining in the blog is here in the workbook. So again, rather than a video saying, here are all the things you can do with color inside of that Tableau desktop, here's how you can actually get them to work. And here are some examples, and you can see. And so again, I will create one where I will have, here's too many colors on the screen, way too many colors at the top. And then Jim fixes it. Well, here is not too many colors. Then I'm going to add a tab onto the workbook and say, here's how you can make it even better for those of us who are colorblind, because these color variations of orange down here, really hard for me to see the difference in these. And so what can I do to help folks who are colorblind do it better? We'll have a blog, we'll have a workbook out on Tableau Public that you can get and download and play with. So here's the last example. This is Kevin Wee. He has a lot of blogs out on visualization, has done a lot of work with this. Oh, and by the way, Kevin will be one of the 3 folks up on that IronViz stage I was just talking about. He entered the IronViz this year. He had one of the top 3 visualizations. So he knows what he's talking about. And so who better to learn from than someone who's going to be on that stage in that competition in May in San Diego. Kevin Fleurlage, that's a name you will hear a lot in the Tableau community. Kevin is one of the twins, and Kevin made a visionaries page where you can go through and see who all these visionaries are and look through it, and you can download it and play with it. Then the second level, even more than all those visionaries who all have YouTube channels and blogs and tutorials and things, now you expand it out and you look at Tableau ambassadors. We have more than 300 Tableau ambassadors all over the world. And each of these folks have Tableau public sites and downloadable examples and blogs and videos and all kinds of things. And so again, there I am. I'm out there as a Tableau academic ambassador with that outdated biography that I need to update. And so by clicking on that, you can see that, oh, there's a user group that Doc is involved with. And so you can click on it and it will say, okay, let's have a discussion with data people. Let's find your group. And so again, there's the community datos folks for the Spanish speaking countries of Central and Southern America, South America. And so you can go and you can look at these. This is the Tableau analytics group. They are one of the largest Tableau user groups out there. They have a monthly meeting and they take things to another level. And so you can go out to the Tableau analytics group. You can find one of the most recent meetings. You can find me on there talking about color and talking about color blindness and get a tutorial on color blindness if that's something that you really want to do. And so the next one coming up next week is doing these radial heat maps. And so that will be an interesting talk. But again, you're new, you're not ready for that. But there are lots of groups where you can get with folks and see who's out there, who's doing what. I've got a similar kind of problem. I'm in this industry. And so I'm doing financial services or banking. Where can I learn more about that? Well, we've got a financial services Tableau user group, which I've spoke to as well about the real world fake data, where you can go and get practice on financial services data. If that's your industry and you want to grow there, we've got a group for you. The K through 12 group, you're a teacher and you want to learn more about teaching. They're a great group. The California community colleges are universities, 2-year universities to get you started in the university experience. And Lisa Trescott is one of the leaders of that group. There are the belonging ones, and there's where you can find the University Teaching and Learning Tableau user group, which I urge you to join. That's my tug. And everybody is a student, so everybody is learning. So you can join to learn. And you can also join so that you can get better at teaching. And what are the resources available so that I could teach others? And so we have lots of things there. And in fact, one of your co-leads, Elvis, as an academic student ambassador, we interviewed him for being a student and what is it like to be a student learning Tableau. And then we turned it over to him and he taught us a class and did an excellent job, even though I had technical difficulties. Elvis did not, and he did a great job introducing folks and going through and teaching them some of the things that he knows about Tableau. So lots of really good groups out there. We have a Black and Data and Analytics Tableau user group, which is really good. Again, Community Datos, I'm wearing their hat. And so in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, we've got lots of groups there. And so there's the Accra Tableau user group there. I also see there's a couple of groups in Nigeria. And so we're making some inroads, but we've got a lot of work still to go. The Tableau DataFam Discovery is a great group showing some neat tricks and things that people never knew. Fostering Data Brilliance is a cool one. The Tableau community one will bring you up to date with all the new things that Tableau is doing. That's the hard thing about Tableau is once you think you've figured out Tableau, here come all these new features and these new ways to do things. And so you start learning again. You never stop learning. The interface is always changing. And so you can look at the upcoming events as I did earlier in the month, and there is our 4 p.m. Tableau Basics for everyone that we are currently sitting in and recording. And there are more, and they're always going. And so the community is amazing. And there's lots of ways that you can find some of that community information through the Tableau website. So here's the Tableau website on data skills. You want to learn data skills, here's some things we have for you. We've got some self-paced learning. We've got some guides so you can read on it. And we've got some certificate programs where you can get certified in it. And so this is where I was saying there's this whole Trailblazers site within Salesforce that has all of this great training available to you. And so here I've opened up the data literacy training off of Tableau's site, and they say, okay, I want to learn the basics. I want to learn how to structure my data. I want to learn about these variables and field types. We were working with one of these shopping channels, my students, many, many years ago, probably 20 years ago, and they had their data and they were having trouble getting things shipped to their customers. And so my students looked at it and they're like, well, Doc, we have these 5-digit zip codes that we send things to customers with. And in their data set, we're finding 2-digit zip codes and 3-digit zip codes. And so they've got a real problem. And this is a major company and a major channel on here in the US. And they still exist today. But 20 years ago, they had their zip code field, which should be a character field. They had stored it as a numeric field. And so all the leading zeros were dropped from the zip code. And so, of course, they were having trouble sending things out. So you think, oh, big companies wouldn't have these problems. I would only have them as I'm trying to learn it. No, everybody has these problems. It's a constantly changing field, and to understand your data and what you can do with that data, everybody needs to learn some of these basics. So what are variables? What are field types? How could I change from a text field to a number field? Why would I want to do that? Why would I not want a zip code to be a number? Why would I not want somebody's ID number to be a number? I actually want that to be a text field so that I can use it to look up. How do I aggregate data and create the right level of detail in my charts? They have an entire training on each of those. So you open them up, like for example, here, the data literacy basics. This only takes 15 minutes to understand the basics of data literacy, to explore how to ask those good questions: who, what, where, when, why, how. What are the fundamentals? And when you complete it, you will get a little badge that will show up on your page. And so again, I've got my playing games with Tableau sweatshirt on today, because at the Tableau conference, hopefully we'll talk about gamifying Tableau and how much more fun you can have while learning. And this Trailblazer site is just chock full of examples of, and this is fun, and it doesn't take me that long. But as you start going through it more and more, there are longer sessions. They go in more detail. Takes you longer to go through them, but you're learning so much more as you go through. So here's my Trailblazers profile. I'm not one of the leaders out there. Haven't spent enough time on it, but I've gotten 51 badges, and I got a lot of points, and I've gone through at least 4 of the trails that are out there. And so here's an example of one that I have my students going through right now, which is, how do I tell stories with data using Tableau Public? Because my students are all on Tableau Public. They've all got some simple data sets. I want them to learn how to tell stories. And you can see, oh, I'm only 44% through. My students are 100% through. They've gone all the way through it. So I still have another 1,500 points I can earn. But I've gotten a couple of the badges done on the Tableau data model, and how do I create a metadata model for my data, so that then I can tell stories with it. And so here's what I haven't completed, is this last one, and that one's going to take me 2 hours and 50 minutes. So that's probably why I haven't completed it yet. But you can go as deep and as far as you want to in any of these topics. You can leave and come back and get started. They'll give you some recommendations of where to go next. So this one that I had my students go through, it's pretty fun. They take you through. The first thing they say is open the data set in Excel, which is exactly what I'm recommending you do today. Get a data set that's an Excel file, open it in Excel, get familiar with that data, then bring it into Tableau and see what you can do inside of Tableau. So here they're saying, in this one, it's the Great British Bake Off TV show in the UK, and they have episodes and challenges and seasons and bakers and who won and who didn't won. And it's a fun data set. And so my students learn about the Great British Bake Off show. They learn about how to create relationships between data sets. They get expert guidance on, here's some basic things you should hide and simplify so it's easier for you to understand. And then it will actually pop open a Tableau window like desktop or like Tableau Prep, and you go through the steps just like you would inside of Tableau Desktop or Tableau Public. And here they're doing the data modeling, and you go step by step and you drag it and you complete it and you go, wow, now I understand how to tie and model things inside of Tableau. So it's not just one data set, one spreadsheet, but now I've got multiple spreadsheets, and I've got these multiple spreadsheets tied together. Then it will go even further. You want to learn more about how this works and why? Here's how you do joins versus doing relationships. So 2 major ways you can do things in Tableau. Why would you do one versus the other? What's the resulting data set going to look like? Which one is what you need the data to look like in order to give the chart, the view, the line graph, the bar chart, whatever it is that you want to pull? Well, we've got to set up that data first. If we don't set up that data first, it won't work. Then at the bottom, they give you a couple of quiz questions. So which table had the field eliminated? So we can go back up, we can look at it, and we can see, oh, the outcomes table has that eliminated field. So then we can come down to the quiz and we can go outcomes D, that's the one that has the eliminated table. Then it says, okay, what's the key difference between joins and relationships? Go back up and review. What's the difference between joins and relationships? Come back down, answer the quiz question, and you earn a badge. And by earning these badges, not only are you learning these things, but you're also showing anybody who comes to your profile and looks, here are the things that you've gone through and looked at. So you can see, recently I've been doing a lot of the AI stuff, taking a look and seeing what's going on with AI, what's Tableau and Salesforce doing with AI, because that's what everybody's talking about. But you still got to know the basics of data modeling and how to work with it in order to get good at analytics. And so my advanced classes, I've been having them work on how to be an effective communicator and how to communicate with charts and how to recognize when people have misleading or bad charts. But if you want to learn more about statistics, there's training on correlation and regression. You want to do good diagnostics, you've got to understand correlation and regression. Before you get in to desktop and doing regressions and correlations, you need to understand what's there. So in this Trailblazer training, they have the badges, they have trails you can follow, they have super badges, they have trail mixes where you can make stuff up custom. You can become a agent blazer. You can earn swag and things from Tableau and Salesforce. They have quests and challenges and fun prizes from time to time. And then again, if you have some money to spend, you can get some instructor-led training as well. So I can't emphasize enough, you all need to go out to the Trailblazer site, create a profile, and start learning. It's the best way to learn that Tableau interface, in my opinion, is through Trailblazer learning. Down at the bottom of the page, they say, oh, academic programs. And again, Elvis is familiar with this through his university studies, where you can be Tableau for students and get Tableau for free as a student. You can get Tableau for free as a professor. And there are some free activities even for kids. And so with Tableau for students, you can download and get Tableau's desktop public edition. You can create a Tableau public profile. And there are all kinds of training videos and YouTube channel just for students working with Tableau public, trying to learn Tableau, again, for free. Not taking a university class, not paying somebody lots of money, at home, on your own time, at your own pace. You can really learn these. And so here's one of the academic resources that, again, is free. Don't have to go to a university to get the similar training that folks are doing at the university. So here's some of the basic charts in Tableau, and you can read about this. This is one of the community projects called Back to Viz Basics, and it will take you to this site called the TableauStudentGuide.com. This is an excellent site created by one of our very first academic student ambassadors, and she created this site, and now folks have taken it and extended it even further, and they have all kinds of things on there, and one of them is this basic chart workbook, which is part of their DataViz Back to Viz Basics Community Challenge. And so you can download it, and it has basic bar charts, line charts, scatter plots, area map, pies and donuts, creating it into a dashboard. Here are solutions, and then you try and create those. So again, you don't have a blank canvas. You're not trying to learn just, oh, here's Tableau. I'm trying learn how to do this particular chart. There are places out there on Tableau Public where you can do it. And what's really nice about these are they are often these Tableau visionaries or Tableau ambassadors, or often it's someone who's going to be an ambassador or a visionary. And you get to see them when they're first starting out and seeing some of the cool things that they're doing. So here's my Tableau public page. I don't have a lot out there. I just have the beginning dashboards that my students start with to begin with. And so you can see here's some of my students. So after one class, Laura created 12 dashboards and can show people, here's what I can do in Tableau after a 10-week course. Here's Sylvia, one of our basketball players. She's from Italy. And so she came in, and through one of our assignments was to use this IMDb database of movies, and the challenge was to create a story. And so here's an example of creating a data story rather than a dashboard, having all these charts crammed on one page. She tells a story and walks you through one chart at a time as you click through, and you will learn about the history of Italian movies because she's Italian and she wanted her US classmates to learn more about Italian movies. What a great way to learn. What a great way to do things. So I follow tons of people out there. You can click on it and follow them as well. Lewis was one of my recent professors for the day. Lisa is an Iron Viz winner and was just in my class last week virtually teaching the students. And so you can click through and find these folks. Lisa says, hire me. So you can hire her if you want to. But you can learn for free with what she has posted out there, out on her site. So you can click on one of them, like this is what she taught my students, how to design beyond the defaults that Tableau gives you. How can you build interactivity into your dashboards? And so she has the chart examples, the workbook, and you can download it and open it up in Tableau Desktop. And then down at the bottom, she says, oh, here's my website, and here's the tutorial. Here's the blog on how to do all those things to build interactivity into your dashboards. And here's a really good example of that. And so, again, the data community is amazing. There are just tons of these out there. She's got one on pie charts, one of my favorites. She's got resources from the last Tableau conference that I missed. I can go here, check it out, see what I missed, and learn from it. If you type in chart catalog into Tableau Public and do a search, you'll find all of these different techniques and why you would want to use each of these charts. Again, one of the names you will hear, and somebody mentioned it in the chat, the Fleurage twins, and actually we joke about them being triplets. Kevin created this 100 Tableau charts. Every chart that you could think of 7 years ago. He needs to do a new one because there's more than 100 now, probably 200 or 250. But he took 100 of the most used type of charts. He found a really good example of that chart, like for area charts. Here's Bo McCready. This was 2019. He highlighted Bo McCready and said, you want to learn how to do an area chart? Click on Bo McCready, start following him, download his workbook, learn how to do an area chart. Well, guess what? 6 years later, Bo McCready was on the stage at Iron Viz and he won. And so you start seeing that connection across the data community, across the DataFam, as we call it. Lots of things that you can learn. So this is 72 of the best Tableau Public authors out there, 100 different charts. You can quickly start building, who do I want to follow? Whose stuff do I want to download and learn from? Tableau Public is just amazing. So like Jeff Schaefer wrote the big book of dashboards. You can download his examples and open them in your Tableau desktop and learn from them. So here's a sampling of Jeff's stuff. Hans Rosling is one of the most famous data visualizations. If you haven't seen it, take a look. He wrote the big book of dashboards. Well, you don't have to buy the big book of dashboards, because out on Tableau Public, you can learn what they're teaching in that big book of dashboard, because there's lots of examples and most of them are downloadable. So you can download and learn from a Hall of Famer, book author, very famous in data visualization. You can learn about different charts. You can download them. If parameter actions is one of the latest features, although it's been around since 2019, Kevin created a tutorial on parameter actions. You can go to it. You can look at it. Down at the bottom is his blog. You can click on the blog. It will take you to the floragetwins.com site. You should bookmark that one. These guys are really good, from the basics to the super advanced. They teach it all. They have examples for it all. Really good part of the community to take a look at. They've got some Tableau essential readings out there. Just so many great things. And again, these are all in the slide deck that you can grab off of my drive. We've had some comments. It's gone off the top of the screen. I'll drop it into the chat again to go grab these and walk through them again. But here are all of these community projects that are out there: the Back to Viz Basics, the Workout Wednesday, Makeover Monday. I love real world fake data. Let's get somebody's real data, anonymize it, and then learn from it. Try and build things in those different functional areas of an organization. So many great community projects out there. We have veterans that are trying to enter the DataViz community. We have a tug for it, and I've spoken there. The Dubois Challenge is one of my favorites, where these are 125-year-old hand-drawn charts. Let's try and recreate them in Tableau. Oh, and by the way, he was one of our first African-American PhDs, one of our early DataViz experts, and most people don't know that part of our history. And so the Dubois Challenge introduces them to it every year. And so there's lots you can learn there. LinkedIn is fun. I love LinkedIn. So I've got my LinkedIn profile out there where I teach some things. I love Legos, and you see this Lego meme out on LinkedIn all the time. Here's the data, then we sort it, then we arrange it, then we present it visually, then we explain with a story. This is a terrible example. That house down there was not built from those bricks. That's exactly what happens too often. People have the data, but they don't use the data to make a decision and build their story. They really should use the data that they have in order to build their story. So I recreated it much better. I took the Lego Up house from the Disney Pixar movie Up, and there's all the data. There's all the pieces. Here they are, all separated out in the bags, the order you should build them. Here it is, all sliced and diced nicely to build them. Here's the enterprise architecture plans, the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Here's a quick proof of concept. Oh, here's what we could do with Carl and the dog there. And then here it is in the story. And those bricks that built that house are those bricks up there, not like over here. Bad example, but you can find these. You want to learn the basics of Tableau and take it to the next level. Tableau Tim. Got to find Tableau Tim out on YouTube. On LinkedIn, I point you to it. Here's a great class that he did with Kirk Monroe, who wrote a book on data modeling in Tableau. You like a book? Go find Kirk's book. You like YouTube channels? Find Tableau Tim. He's got some of the best YouTube videos out there. Again, on LinkedIn, I point to this Dubois challenge. Here are these hand-drawn charts. Now let's try and do them in Tableau. So my students right now are recreating these hand-drawn charts and creating them inside of Tableau. You don't have to come to my university to do that. You can do it for free out on the internet. You can find it. Here are the books that I've been reading. And again, there's my link to go directly to it. So let me grab that one, throw it into the chat. You want to get some books and read some books? Here are some of the really good books, if you like books, to learn from. So I'll both throw. Cairo talked about how charts lie. HBR, Harvard Business Review, has a book on good charts. Ryan Sleeper has a great book called Practical Tableau. It has 100 chapters in it. Each chapter shows you how to do one and only one thing. Tableau Desktop Specialist Certification, Adam Miko, one of our visionaries. Tableau ambassadors, wrote a book. You want to get certified? This is the book to buy. Again, how do you know that? Because you get into the community and you meet these people and you interact with them. And you see they've got a book, a blog, a YouTube channel, tutorials. There's somewhere out there. Here's my update that I need to write on LinkedIn. Here's some of the latest books I've been reading. Some really great stuff that's out there. Been reading up on the AI powered enterprise and agentic AI. Probably the future of AI in most organizations is going to be agentic AI. Here's a book for it. Again, Tableau conference, I urge you to at least sign up for the free and watch what's free. Someday, if you can, attend a Tableau conference. Then you can meet all these people in person. It's life changing. When I went to the first one 8-9 years ago, changed my life, and I've been presenting there ever since. So here's my Tableau conference 2023. Build accessible dashboards, advice from the colorblind. Go to YouTube, type in advice from the colorblind. You'll find my videos out there. Last one is the Tableau Slack community. You've got to sign up for the Tableau Slack community. There's where you meet folks in the community. And oh, by the way, who did I meet through Tableau Slack? I met Ebenezer Sam. And he posted, here's a Tableau event. We're looking for someone to come and speak. And I raised my hand and I said yes. And I'm here today. You too can do this. You can join. You can put your intro into that Slack channel and start meeting folks across the data community. It's really fun. It's really informative. I encourage you all to join Tableau Slack. I still like Twitter. I still tweet. So here's upcoming Tableau meetups, and there's the Accra on February 21st. So you can find stuff out on Twitter as well. So what's going to be your mindset? Are you going to have a fixed mindset? Are you going to avoid challenges? Just believe you can't really learn new things, shy away from that unfamiliar Tableau desktop, or are you going to have a growth mindset? View these challenges as opportunities, embrace them, post stuff out there on Slack and get constructive feedback from the community all over the world. Learn and grow from your mistakes. We all make them. We all have them. Learn from them. Don't be afraid. And believe that learning and developing your skills is what's going to take you into things from the future. So I didn't see too many questions as I flew through things. But if anybody has any questions, I'd love to take any of your questions. And again, you can find me out on Twitter at Doc Kevin Elder, on LinkedIn, Doc Elder, and my email at the university, or my Gmail email for more personal kind of emails. And again, if you know someone who would like to try their hand at teaching and become a professor for the day, like Elvis has been a professor for the day, my classroom is always open and always looking for folks.
Hi, Doc. Thank you so much for taking us through. So, Elvis, yeah, if you can take over.
So a very
Yeah.
big thank you to Dr. Kevin. I remember last year Dr. Kevin invited me to be the professor of the day in one of his sessions, and I really loved that session. It was very welcoming. On behalf of the core team, we want to express our sincerest gratitude to him for making time to join and for sharing great insights with us on how we can begin our Tableau journey and how we can get to learn Tableau for ourselves. And thank you all for joining. We'll share some few information you need to know, and then we close the session. And also, those who are not part of our WhatsApp group, kindly let us know so that you join us. There's a link here already. And so Aben will show us the link to the WhatsApp group very soon. So for now, we are on 2 media platforms, right? LinkedIn is Accra Tag or Accra Tableau User Group. So we are engaged, posting content and everything. You can get it there. And also, as Dr. Kevin mentioned, you can join the Tableau community on Slack there, and then that's the link to join the community. We'll do our best to share the slide and the resources and the recording of today's session on our groups and on our social media platforms so that you can follow up with us from that end. Next slide. So on the next slide, you see the links to, yeah, so that's the Tableau community. I think Eben also mentioned it at the beginning, the international community of data enthusiasts, everybody here, we are there, right? And also the next slide is the link to our WhatsApp community. So please, you can take some time to scan the QR code to join our WhatsApp community. And this is our second event. Lots of greater events and even in-person events are yet to come. So please stay close, learn Tableau, and learn Tableau as a community. Right. So that's it for our WhatsApp group. Thank you all so much for making time to join today's session. And on behalf of the core team, we thank all of you for staying with us from the beginning of the session to this very moment. And we say we are very grateful for your time. And when we have another session, kindly do well to join. And since you have registered on the platform, on the user group platform, if we have any events, please stay tight, and then um, mark your calendars on your emails. You get notifications so that you can join us for our next session or our next meetup. Thank you all so much once again, and have a great evening. Bye.
Bye. Thank you once again, Dr. Kevin. We really appreciate your time.
Sure, no problem. I
All right.
appreciate
Have a
the
great
invite.
day. Sure. Have a great day. Bye.